Welcome, welcome, welcome. TBW Clips. I'm Tyson. Today, we're going back to California again. Recently, they had an earthquake out there. And I think some are saying it's going to get worse later on because of a fault line. So let's check out this clip, see what they're talking about, because I did a video before about how there are earthquakes in California, but it's not all that bad considering the wildfires. Their biggest problem with wildfires, not so much the earthquakes. Maybe this video will prove me wrong. Let's check this out.
The recent earthquake that jolted the Southland is sparking concern and highlighting a much smaller but potentially more threatening fault line. The fault running from the Pasadena area to Puente Hills has been very active in recent months.
KTLA's Rachel Menitoff has more from Highland Park. Angelinos felt the jolt, the shaking of a four.
Now, I'm originally from California. I moved to Texas. That's where I'm staying now. But I've been in a couple earthquakes. It's not, none of them has been very frightening for me. It's not something that is terrifying like it is for others. Maybe I haven't been in a really bad one, but the ones that I have been in, I haven't been terrified. I've been okay, not frightened very much. It's a shake to me. It's not a fear of me dying. I haven't had that fear when it comes to earthquakes, but some people have.
4.4 magnitude earthquake this week.
It felt like a basketball.
Some put their earthquake drills to good use and sheltered underneath kitchen tables. This latest one originated from the Puente Hills Fault, which is 25 miles long and runs from Glendale to Pasadena to Puente Hills. It's been really active in recent months, much more so than in past years. And its location near apartment buildings, homes, and businesses is concerning.
Has the potential for a very large earthquake. It's been modeled up to magnitude 7.5.
The issue of retrofitting is coming back to the forefront. In 2015, the LA City Council voted to require certain older buildings to undergo retrofits to make them more resilient. Owners had until 2020.
Yeah, this is part of the regulatory initiatives that they've had because it's a lot of regulations out there in California. So older buildings, usually, when people are paying rent in older buildings, or the people who have the buildings who are renting them out, they can't afford to make some of the fixes that these regulatory things come down for. It's hard for them to pay it. New regulations, they don't have the money to get their buildings up to a new code, so it costs a lot of money. So, but the earthquakes that have been going on, I don't think is a justification for the stiff regulations that these people have to pay for. Because regulations is you have to come out of your pocket and change something, come out of your pocket and add something, and you have and it doesn't just stop one time. It's something you have to do regularly. So new regulations are added costs. So this is another reason why businesses are having a hard time in California. So let's keep going.
2023 to make those changes. According to analysis from the LA Times, there are currently 6,000 buildings potentially in need of earthquake updates in LA County. KTLA consumer expert David Lazarus says luckily, technology and infrastructure has improved enormously over the decades.
buildings that go up now will simply be safer than buildings that went up, say, 20, 30 years ago. So that's an element to all of this.
Of course, it makes, I wouldn't say safer, but they have more regulations put on them to, sometimes regulations, you overdo things. And it's an added cost that you don't have. So this possibly could be the reason why. And of course, you're going to do things better with something newer because you know things that you didn't know before. Or like you said, technology, rises up. But those older buildings, those people still have to come out of their pocket and change it for the new one, for the new regulations. So if somebody's just putting up a new building, those regulations are already there, rather than somebody already has a building. Now new regulations come and now he has to change things. So you're not just putting it up, you're tearing it down also. Added costs.
At the same time, make no mistake, it's a roll of the dice. If you're planning to spend millions or billions of dollars on a new project, you know full well there could be a catastrophe around the corner.
For comparison, 1994's Northridge earthquake killed 57 people and caused tens of billions of dollars in damage at a magnitude 6.7. Now the USGS estimates that if Puente...
See, I was alive during that time, of course. I was alive and living in California at that time. I think I was in high school. I don't remember this, like a huge, terrible, I was living in the Los Angeles area, so I really don't remember or recall Northridge. I don't know how far that is from Los Angeles. It's not, everything is not too far away though, right? So yeah, the Northridge earthquake was a terrible one in '94. Look at where we're at now, 2024. It was about 30 years, right? About a 30-year difference. So between huge earthquakes, so are those regulations going to help during those 30 years that there's a break from? We have little ones here and there, but they're not doing the damage as the one in Northridge where they just talked about happened. I think that was the last biggest one in Los Angeles.
Hill's fault line produces a full rupture. Damage could top $252 billion. Hundreds of thousands of people would be displaced, and anywhere from 3,000 to 8,000 people could die.
Through the Northridge earthquake, so the first thing I said is, I think the big one's coming, guys.
Judith Goldstein, the owner of Luca Natural Goods in Highland Park, remembers the progression of smaller quakes leading up to a very destructive one.
I know that this is the signs that a big earthquake is probably going to come. I hope I'm wrong.
They do this all the time. Prior to Northridge, what was the biggest one before that? Let me know down in the comments if you know. Because I want to see how far these things come to fruition. Was the Northridge, was that considered the big one? It should have been, right? All the damage, people dying. So is another big one coming? Or is it just fear tactics to get more money? I think if you have little ones here and there, I think that evens it out than if you don't have anything and it all builds up and then you have one big one. But I think if you're having like smaller ones throughout time, I think that helps and it relieves the fault line, right? From building up all the pressure, because with the earthquake, pressure is being released. So I think with this one that just happened recently, that helps it not have a big one. I could be wrong. I doubt it. Let me know if you think I am and down in the comments. I appreciate you guys for watching, and you guys have a great day.